Ernest Holmes told us, he said, life can only give us what we take, and the taking is an act of faith. You've got to believe it. Now, I know that is a lot different than what we were taught as kids, isn't it? Even as what we were taught as adults. You just have to believe it. Can you believe it now? Whatever that desire is that's burning in your heart, can you believe that is available to you right now? Because this is it. Ernest Holmes tells us that the desire is the thing it's in its incipiency, in its beginning stage. The desire is telling us that that thing, whatever that thing is already on its way. This is it, he's saying. Can you believe it? See, that's the question this morning. Can I believe it? Can I have faith right now that love is so loving, that love is so giving, that it has actually already provided my good? That before I called, it had already answered. That's love, isn't it? Isn't it? Can I believe in love? Isn't that what Sky was talking about this morning? Sitting in love? See, there it is. It's already been given. It's already ours. Can we believe it? Can we believe it? I always go back to, when I start talking about faith and believing, I always remember what Jesus said to the woman who believed that if she could just touch the hem of his garment, she would be healed. And he said to her, he said, woman, thy faith hath made thee whole. So what was he saying? He's saying, I didn't do that. That wasn't me. He said, you were already whole. You just gave yourself a condition that said something had to happen first. But you were whole all along. You made it conditional on something. She said, oh, if I could just do this, then I would be. She had to touch a hem of a garment to realize that truth. Now, we can look at that and say, how silly that sounds, but ask yourself the question, what do I have to do? What condition have I given myself before I'm willing to recognize that right here in this very moment, I'm whole now? This is it. I've been reading all kinds of stories this week about what I call everyday people that, for one reason or another, we have come to label as exceptional. Okay? See, and we're so quick to see greatness in other people. Have you ever noticed that? But what about the greatness that's here? See, we're quick to see that greatness because those people, whoever they are, have had the courage to step up and step out in some belief that they had in their heart. But we've given ourselves so many reasons to hold back. So many reasons to hold back. One of the biggest reasons, I think, is age. Maybe it's because of the age that I am now that I hear it so much from all the people that are around me. But I hear it. I hear so many people's lives today being filtered through age. Which is interesting to me because we're made in the image and likeness of a universe that doesn't know anything about age. And yet we've made it a condition. I was watching TV the other morning, and they were interviewing William Shatner of Captain Kirk, Star Trek fame. And I was surprised to learn that he's just turned 80. okay? Just turned 80. He currently hosts 3 TV shows. He has over 750,000 Twitter followers. And up until May of this year, he was starring in a sitcom that was entitled, I have to be careful here, Bleep My Dad Says. I always say the word, so I can't say it in church, but Bleep My Dad Says, okay? Okay. He's also, who is he? He's the Priceline negotiator. You've seen him, right? Have you seen that? Okay, all right. He has just written a new book that's just been released called Rules, and he has a record coming out. Okay? So what part of that 80s paradigm lines up with what he's doing? Maybe it's time to turn the corner. Maybe it's time to turn the corner. And that's what we have to do, because he just keeps reinventing himself over and over and over again. Captain Kirk, Denny Crane, Priceline negotiator. He just keeps reinventing himself, being new. Okay, I did that. Let's do something else now. Answering the call within. Okay, let's do something else. This is it. Does that old thing still suit me? Does it still line up with the beliefs that I hold right now? Is it time to turn the corner? Is it time to reinvent myself? Is it time to see myself in a new way? Is it time to stop using age as a filter? Is it time to start seeing my own greatness? This is it. I think another reason that one of the biggest reasons also that we use for not acknowledging and accepting the good that's right in front of us right now is what we see as the hurts and the failures of the past. Okay? There was a story this week that I actually saw online, and I don't know why this story tickles me every time I read it, because it's a little morbid, but for some reason it's really funny. But there's this great story this week about a bear that followed a dog into the house and attacks the couple that lives there. Okay? The couple lets their dog out at about 3 o'clock in the morning. The dog is out there barking, and when the woman of the house opens the door to let the dog in, he comes in followed by a big bear. And the bear jumps on the woman and starts attacking her. And the husband, hearing all the commotion, comes in to see what's going on, and he jumps on the bear. All right? And so then the bear, in that moment, just starts beating the guy up, and the guy has all these. Maybe that's what's funny about it to me, because if you see the picture of the guy, he looks like a kind of a cartoon character. You know how you see the cartoon characters with the bandages wrapped all around their head, and they've got the bandages wrapped all around their arms? That's what he actually looks like, that, okay? And the commentator, this was what was really funny to me. Okay, I know you're thinking I'm really morbid, but anyway. But what was really funny to me is what the commentator said. He says, and for some reason, the dog doesn't seem to want to go outside anymore. Okay. I was just laughing so hard. I kept saying, Dar, this isn't funny. This isn't, but it was, there is something funny about it. And I think this really isn't, this dog not wanting to go outside anymore really isn't that different from a lot of us. See, that's the thing to me. When something happens to us that's very painful or very scary, we often have a tendency to say things like, I am never going to do that again. Ever. Even if it's something that we love as much as a dog loves going out. Love. I'm not going to do what I love anymore because something might hurt me. Something might scare me. So I saw some very strong similarities between this story about the dog and the bear and a story that I was reading about Steve Jobs this week. He told a story that he called Love and Loss. He said, I was lucky. I found what I loved to do early in life. Steve Wozniak and I started Apple in my parents' garage when I was 20. We worked hard, and in 10 years, Apple had grown from just the two of us in a garage into a $2 billion company with over 4,000 employees. We had just released our finest creation, the Macintosh, a year earlier, and I had just turned 30. And then, he said, I got fired. And he asked the question, he said, how do you get fired from a company you started? Okay? So he told what happened. He said he had hired someone to run the company, they had creative differences, and the board sided with the other guy. That's what happened. And so Steve Jobs was out of a job, right? Okay? And so he said he was completely devastated. And he thought about leaving Silicon Valley. He came very close to leaving Silicon Valley as a result of that. So you see, it was almost like that dog that didn't want to go outside anymore, because when you go outside, bears get you.